Students, welcome all of you. Today we are going to start the second part of the chapter of our history, that is chapter 7 of history, tribe, nomads and settled communities. In the first part we have discussed that who were the tribal people. Now in today's video we will discuss about the nomadic people, means how nomads and mobile people lived at that time. So this topic we are going to discuss today. Students, nomadic pastoralists moved over long distance with their animals. Means those people or those tribal group who moves from one place to another place with their animals were the nomadic people. They lived on milk and other pastoral product. Means they have lots of animals, so they were dependent on the milk and milk related product. They also exchange wool, ghee, etc. with the settled agriculture for grain, clothes, utensil and other product. They have milk and pastoral product. So whenever they need other product like the clothes and the other things, so they exchange these things with the other they exchange their milk and their ghee and their pastoral product with the settled community people, with the agriculturalist, okay, to get these products. They bought and sold these goods as they moved from one place to another, transporting them on their animals. So what was happening at that time? Us time beta, there was no any transportation facilities, and people use animals power, means muscles power, to transport things from one place to another place. So these nomadic peoples were moving from one place to another place with lots of the animals. So lots of merchants and kings hire them to transport grains and other things from one town to another town. So they bought and sold these goods. Sometimes they were hired by the merchants and sometimes they are themselves merchant. They bought and sold these goods as they move from one place to another, transporting them on their animals. So sometimes what they do, they buy something from the place where they are available in cheaper price, and they sold them where they are in dearer price. The Banjaras were the most important trader nomads. Their caravan was called Tanda. Banjaras जो होते थे बेटा, they were the most important traders and nomads, and their caravan was called Tanda. What was Tanda? Tanda means the caravan, the group of the Banjaras. Sultan Alauddin Khilji used the Banjaras to transport grain to the city market. And Emperor Jahangir wrote in his memories that the Banjaras carried grain on their bullocks from different area and sold it in town. They transported food grains for the Mughals army during military campaigns also. Means अब military campaign चल रही है, so who will transport grains and the food material for the army? So these Banjaras used to do this. With a large army, there could be 1 lakh bullocks carrying grains with a large army. So students, now we are going to read about in a box about the Banjaras, what the people thinks about the Banjaras at that time. Here's a record that Peter Mundy, an English trader who came to India during the early 17th century, has described the Banjaras. In the morning, we met a tanda of Banjara with 14,000 oxen. They were all laden with grains such as wheat and rice. These Banjaras carry their households, wives and children along with them. Means when the Banjaras move, they carry their all the animals like 14,000 oxen. They carry their wives and children with them, with their tanda. So, and also they carry, their all animals were laden with wheat and rice, and their way of life is similar to that carries to one continuously travel from one place to another place. They own their oxen. They are sometimes hired by merchant, but sometimes most commonly they are themselves merchant. कई बार क्या होता था बेटा, इन लोगों को मर्चेंट हायर करते थे. They were hired by the merchant. Means sometimes merchant hired them to transport the grains in the other place, because क्योंकि उस टाइम ट्रक्स वगैरह नहीं होते थे, ट्रक्स नहीं होते थे, कोई भी ऐसा ट्रांसपोर्ट का सोर्स नहीं था कि लोग एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जो है, जो बिजनेसमैन है वो अपनी चीज़ों को ट्रांसपोर्ट कर सके. सो हु वर अवेलेबल फॉर दैम? These Banjaras were available because they continuously move from one place to another place. So sometime merchant hire them transport their goods in another place, and they buy grains where it is cheaply available. Sometimes they are themselves merchant, कभी कभी वो खुद ही merchant बन जाते थे. वो क्या करते थे? They buy grains where it is cheaply available and carry it to the place where it is dearer. From there, they again reload their oxen with anything that can be profitable sold in other place. In a tanda, there may be as many as 6 or 700 persons. They do not travel more than 6 or 7 miles a day, that too in the cool weather. After unloading their oxen, they turn them free to graze, as there is enough land there and no one there to forbid them. So this was the life of the Tandas, the Banjaras group, and they were very important at that time to transport the things from one place to another place. That's why Banjaras were very important persons at that time. Many pastoral tribes reared and sold animals such as cattle and horses to the prosperous people. Means these pastoral and these tribes, those were Banjaras, they have lots of the animals, and sometimes what they do, they just sold their animals to the people who were rich. And different caste of patty paddlers also travel from village to village. Some patty paddlers also travel. Who is the patty paddler, student? What is the meaning of the patty paddlers? Means the people those sell such small things, like they sold wares such as ropes, reeds, straw matting, and corsets. Sometime they also sell medicants. Acted some Manjaras acted as wandering merchant. They were caste of entertainers who performed in different towns and villages for their livelihood. Some Banjaras act like as a entertainers, क्योंकि उस टाइम entertaining का कोई सोर्स नहीं होता था. That's why some Banjara community act as a merchant and they move from one place to another place to entertain people, and the villagers give them something for their livelihood. And this here you can see this picture. This is a picture of the bronze crocodile, that is Katia Khan tribe, Orissa. That is Katia Khans ने इसको बनाया है. That is called the bronze crocodile. ये एक tribal group ने बनाया है, and the name of the tribal group is Katia Khans. Next is changing society, new caste and hierarchies. This is our next topic, that is the changing society, new caste and hierarchies. So now we will read about how the caste system were changing, and what was the new hierarchies at that time, students. You know that what was the system at that time changing, how was the society changing, what was the new caste. You know about the caste system, about the Varna system, that in Indian subcontinent the people follow that the Varna system, that was known as the Varna system. There was the 4 Varnas, that was on the top the Brahmans, then Kshatriya, then Vaishya, and then the Shudra. So these were the 4 castes. The people were divided into 4 castes, and as the economy and the needs of the society grew, people with new skill were required. So जैसे जैसे सोसाइटी बड़ी हो रही थी तो उनको नए नए स्किल्स के लोगों की ज़रूरत थी. एंड द स्मॉलर कास्ट और जातीज इमर्ज विद इन वर्नास. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, न्यू कास्ट अपीयर अमंगस्ट the Brahmins. On the other hand, many tribes and social groups were taken into caste-based society and given the status of jatis. तो जैसे जैसे नए नए काम आने लगे थे, like someone were the masons, someone were the craft persons. So lots of the new works were coming in the society, like the carpenter, masons, smiths. So these castes were included in the jatis. So they were called the jatis. So you have to know about the meaning of the jati. What is the meaning of the jatis? Smiths, carpenter and masons were also recognized as separate jatis by the Brahmins. Jatis rather than varnas become the basis of organizing society. Next is deliberation on jatis. अब देखो जातीज का जो डेलिब्रेशन होता था, हाउ दिस हैपन. नाउ वी विल रीड अबाउट द डेलिब्रेशंस ऑन जातीज. 12th century inscriptions from Uyakondan Udiyar in Tiruchirappalli Taluka in present-day Tamil Nadu describe the deliberation on a sabha of Brahmins. They deliberated on the status of a group known as Rathakara. उन्होंने रथाकारा के बारे में लिखा है उसमें एक it is written in an inscription in Oyakonda Udiyar in Tiruchirappalli Taluka that they deliberated on the status of a group known as Rathakaras. Rathakaras mean जो लोग रथ बनाते थे literally they were also called chariot makers. They laid down their occupations which were to include architecture, building coaches and chariots, erecting gateway for temples with images in them, preparing wooden equipment used to perform sacrifices, building mandapa, making jewels for the kings. So these peoples were included in the Rathakara. A new jati were emerged. Like this, when the Brahmans includes jatis in the new group of the people, that was called the new jati and the new the Varna system. Among the Kshatriya, new Rajput clans become powerful by the 11th and 12th century. They belong to different lineages such as Huna, Chandelas, Chalukyas, others. So new Rajput clans, they were also becoming very powerful, and some of these too and had been tribes earlier. Many of these clans came to be regarded as Rajput. They gradually replaced the older ruler, especially in agricultural area. Here a developed society was emerging and the ruler used their wealth to create powerful states. The rise of Rajput clan to the position of ruler set an example for the tribal people to follow. Gradually, with the support of the Brahmins, many tribes became part of the caste system, but only the leading tribe's family could join the ruling class. A large majority joined the lower jatis of caste society. On the other hand, many dominant tribes of Punjab, Sindh, and the north-west frontier had adopted Islam quite earlier. They continued to reject the caste system, and the unequal social order prescribed by Orthodox Hinduism was now widely accepted in these areas. Means lots of the tribal group accepted the caste system, and they were included in the lower caste group, like they were included in the Shudras. Nobody want to become a Shudra. That's why some tribal group accepted Hinduism, they accepted the caste system, but some adopted the Islam. They adopted the Islam religion also, because there was no any caste group, there was no any caste system in this area. So the emergence of state is closely related to the social changes among the tribal people, and two examples of the important part of the history were described below. Now we will read about the two examples of the Gonds and the Ahoms. They were the two important tribal group of the subcontinent at that time, and we will read about their history, that how they became powerful and how their kingdom raised and how their kingdom fell.